ASL Prime League.
Tell if you're muted or not. Okay.
I heard.
All right, guys. Welcome. Welcome back to possibly the final match of the night in the top right-hand corner. It is the Orange Protoss player, previously beating Puck. Give it up for RayReign.
And his opponent trying to basically reset this round robin. He is down on the bottom left-hand corner of the map. It is our yellow Protoss, SpellSinger.
Even though I would love to see SpellSinger move through, I think everybody but him's like, please don't reset the bracket. We don't want to do a whole bunch of best of ones. Please don't do this. And you know what? Who also doesn't want him to is RayReign, because he is forward. He's cannon rushing. He is 100% cannon rushing, which I have not seen a Legacy of the Void cannon rush yet. So
no, neither have I. I don't really even know how it works.
The more I think about it, the more, as I mentioned to you, at 52 seconds, you can have a fully saturated mineral line. He's already got 16 workers at home. So this is going to be crazy. Yeah. SpellSinger does not see this yet, but if the probe so easily can spot it, so easily. And if I look at his vision, everything's calm and peaceful. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, I love this by RayReign. He sends an alternate probe through to scout just so it looks normal, and he's like, "That's where your probe is." This is beautiful. This is immaculate.
And this is where, too, that kind of
now all the pylons are going down everywhere. Wait. So the real question is: so a photon cannon. What is an actual? The question is, what is an actual photon overcharge damage wise against a photon cannon?
It's 25, right? 25 instead of 20.
I think so, also, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, unless they change it, because that's what it was. So again, the leapfrogging up. But this gets into that timing thing of he's able to do this much more with the cannons faster than you usually would be able to. And yet the Stalker and Warp Prison, or Mothership Core coming out, are not much faster.
Yeah, it's an exponential growth earlier on, and then it kind of tapers off, but it's very unique to everything. And now, RayReign has 6 photon cannons up. I mean, you can. This is the only situation where I'm like, the Mothership Core should be able to keep photon overcharging, but it doesn't, since it's 11 seconds and 25 energy. Now we do see SpellSinger proxying a Nexus,
and this I think is the right. It's the right response. He just tries to keep probes alive. His cybernetics core over to the side. If that can stay alive, then you just go in and counter warp gate, right? Yeah.
One big thing looking at this is also has to do with the exponential income and growth early on. Is normally if I saw this and I was expanding like SpellSinger is, I'd say in Heart of the Swarm at least, he probably doesn't have a gate at home. I love that teleport out. Yeah, I'd say in my head he probably doesn't have a gate at home, but RayReign does. So, well, I mean, we'll see. This is a fully saturated mineral line in the gold and gas. So this is definitely a replay.
Yeah.
I would be like, you got to see this. Gateway will be focused down, sadly. I'd love to see RayReign just be like, fine, I'll take your base as my natural. Just like, I'm going to do the most badass around ever.
Yeah, now if he was able to have finished that warp gate, then it's literally a walk in the park victory. He's going to have to restart that again, but the Void Ray coming out now should be interesting.
I like that decision a lot, because at the moment, as I was mentioning, RayReign, he's got a gateway up. RayRein's tech choice is Twilight, but he's already kind of in the lead. So it's always just, what is the decision you need to make to get yourself ahead? And it is, okay, I'm going to choose something I don't think you'll expect, or is just going to completely destroy you, which Void Rays in Legacy of the Void, they're just as good as everywhere else, and they just don't seem to die.
Yeah.
It's my experience with Void Rays in Legacy of the Void.
He's waiting for a second, obviously, before really committing too much in here. He's got his own Stalker to help.
And it's like
Warp
you can
Gate is
counter.
about to finish. Yeah.
And you can counter these Void Rays, but just not on one base tech. Currently, we do see SpellSinger with like a 150 to 200 mineral lead a minute, but he needs a proxy pylon to start warping in Madly Zealots if he wants to utilize that.
Yeah, I think he's basically backing off here. He knows that 2 Void Rays is definitely going to be able to defend him against these Stalkers, but he will try and poke in from the side, but I don't think he should commit or go too deep on this, and he's not.
These 2 Void Rays and the Mama Core should be able to defend this base, but if Blink is coming down, which it is, easily RayReign can get on the high ground.
Yeah.
On the other hand, though, Void Rays, that's perfect for the Void Rays.
Yeah, exactly.
They'll be able to focus down. So it's it's the situation where they've already countered each other in StarCraft 2 terms. And still remember that worker-wise, Nexus-wise, there's still, 6 cannons and 3 pylons on the left-hand side of the map in that bottom left-hand corner. So obviously, everything we see here is what we see, but you got to remember there's that huge commitment in the bottom left. Very well may have evened itself off, though, with killing a 400 mineral Nexus, but we'll see.
Yep, and here they are from the high ground. The
Mothership Core goes down!
That is a pretty big deal. Void Rays,
I don't even know what did that kill?
Don't really want to chase that far, and really only want to commit when they have the enhanced beams up there.
Yep. Still, the Stalkers in the low ground for SpellSinger. I mean, they can't engage directly. Basically, all they are is the buffer for the Void Rays. The Void Rays are the damage dealers, but one of those Void Rays very low on health. It's a deadly dance, and some fire is also hitting these probes every once in a while.
2 goes down. And yeah, RayReign is using this high ground here perfectly with the blink now. So good. He is still 1 base, and Spell is trying to take a second. But if he loses this one...
That Void Ray can't go down. That Void Ray is all he has high ground vision. If it goes down, he's got to be so careful. Just on hold command, he does not want to engage. It's just so scary because that's the point of, he actually has done a remarkable job getting back into the game, making the decision. But if he loses that Void Ray, he loses.
If he can blink, blink is done. If he can catch this force, he just doesn't have enough to commit to it either, though. He really needed a second Void Ray, and he could blink up and actually destroy the position. He now revealed that he has blink.
Yeah, which is not a nice thing to do, but we'll see if he can take it. The Backrocks are down on this kind of middle of the map location. We'll see if it works out, though. Void Ray instantly gets taken out. Currently, SpellSinger has 15 to the 12 of RayReign, or the 15 of RayReign to only the 12. SpellSinger, GG RayReign.
For what could end up being the last game of the night, and this player would like it to be. Down here on the bottom right-hand side of the map, we have our orange Protoss player. Shout out to RayReign.
And his opponent, top left-hand corner, representing Russia, the red Protoss, SpellSinger. As you mentioned, shout out RayReign is only 1 game away from taking first place, and just thinking about it, this is about the only situation where Puck out there just other than just not wanting to face someone, Puck out there's like, oh, please, RayReign win. RayReign win. If you win, then I go second, you go first, and we move on to the round of 8. Yeah. The first player in this group, which could be RayReign if he takes this game, will face no regret. Second, possibly Puck, would play Semper in the round of 8. We'll see, guys. Opening up, not quite as cheesy. Neither player, at least so far, really doing anything crazy. I think they're doing mirror builds, which will be good.
Yeah, looks like it so far. Things can deviate a bit more wildly in this, obviously, and I'm sure we'll see quite shortly as soon as the cybers go. That's another thing, too, scout-wise. It feels like you're much more likely to have your tech go down immediately after the cyber core, whereas before there was kind of this wait and kill the probe game.
Yeah,
I think, you know.
You had a little bit of extra time to kill it while you were like, where do I want to place? And what I think more about them being mirror is that generally, and they are, I love they're both blocking each other. This is pretty much what we saw on Terraform for the past series between Puck and RayReign. But the thing about it being mirror is just earlier on, generally you have kind of three deviations. You have pylon into double gate, you have gateway into cyber, and then you have a gateway into a nexus. Those are kind of your three deviations I feel like I've seen in PvP, other than the photon overcharge, or other than the Forge Fast Expand and a proxy gates. But it's kind of funny because it's a little bit like how you categorize Zerg builds, hatch gas pool, hatch pool gas, whatever. This is a 2-gate into Nexus, or this is a gate into Nexus, whatever. For now, though, RayReigns will get a little bit quicker of a block, thankfully.
Yeah.
Or we'll have a little bit longer of a time, whatever. Just only about 20 seconds. We'll see when that natural base goes down. That should be now for SpellSinger.
Yeah, I like what RayReign is doing in the early game, too. Knowing that these blocks happen, he's starting to treat it like you were going to play a Terran. He starts that Zealot as soon as the gateway starts, and then you could tell if he didn't block it, then I'll cancel it. If you did block it, I'm going to let him come out, and the pylon's dead so much quicker.
Yeah, the build orders on those websites is a little asterisk, like, cancel this Zealot if he doesn't pressure you.
Yeah.
It's the really well-timed-out builds, and maybe you just assume they're going to block it, and then I don't know how you utilize that, but you say you got a pylon committed in my natural.
Yeah.
That's a little bit. If you're going for a mirror build and they do that, and you're not both going for a Nexus first, then you could potentially win because I have one more Stalker. We'll see, though. We will see. RayReigns natural, about 30 seconds quicker, and instantly getting a couple probes there to try to just utilize it and get his investment as much as he can. Get back his investment. What I think is really cool, at least in PvP at the moment, is it's not as much who expands first loses. You have to take your natural. Maybe who takes third base first, but I've seen two conditions. There's no mid-game PvP. It's either you rush or you kind of wait it out into the late game and you both just kind of dance around each other for a while. There's no mid-game PvP.
Yeah, that's definitely true. There's so much of that mid-game is stuff that can like zone out and stall out and basically just delay. So you're not as much going to have those big commitments there. The Stalkers setting up above the natural here. Not sure what sort of work they're looking to get done. Blink is just about to finish, but still about 10 seconds away. Forces out the photon overcharge, which I think was the point.
Interesting point just on the photon overcharge. Yes, it's different, and we always comment on it, but also just Blizzard wanted to make it a little bit more friendly to newer players.
Yeah.
Even though you have to be better at some cities, it's only 25 energy. It's not like before where the Terran's trying to bait out, the Protoss tries to bait out that photon overcharge. Yes, you can bait them out, but you might as well just go in and try to kill something. You can bait out a couple, but at that point, you keep having more. So it is a kind of just allowing newer players to utilize that. Guys, SpellSinger, he does not want to give this game up. Now, if RayReign holds and takes the game, the night will be over, and he will move on in first place. But SpellSinger, he wants to reset this bracket. He's going to do that through a really nice push, and still, there are no adepts in this force. Now, I totally get that we haven't seen adepts tonight, but adepts are really good, man. You can be banking off. You can be banking off that you have Blink, and that is what he's doing. But he doesn't have high ground vision, so
yeah, he could. I guess he could hallucinate something in a little bit, but it's not the best way to go. He does plan to just come in with a traditional force, I guess. Force field's going off.
That will keep just the two Zealots behind. Both force fields for each side does a really nice job, but there is the Guardian Shield for SpellSinger, allowing him to just do a little bit more damage. Now, RayReign did go for Adepts, but they're all kind of stuck behind his walls. Photon Overcharge will barely save him. SpellSinger will pull out, but he only lost like 3 or 4 Stalkers that entire time.
Yeah, trying to target fire down one of the Immortals here. We'll get it, but 2 more are still alive. Photon Overcharge on that back pylon, cleaning up the Stalkers that were sneaking around back there.
But still, though, SpellSinger amassing units, and this is a 2-base economy versus 2 base, so this is not... it is a decent. It's not super all in, but still at the same time, there's so much production more possible than one base versus one base. For now, though, SpellSinger is going to have to retreat. We'll lose some of these sentries nice playing forward from RayReign. And you know, we were talking about just an idea off the top of my head, adept wise. Yes, Blizzard wants to make them be more viable just as a straight up composition and more Protoss kind of core units, but you could do something like make it armored, which in case Immortals and Colossi, make it light and armored. So just the second tier units can kill it easily, which everything else, even though it's not quite as severe, but everything else, Colossi good at Zealots, Immortals good at Stalkers, period. That's how it works.
Yeah, I think we've got SpellSinger going into mild desperation mode. We got the Dark Shrine coming out. He must know he's a fair bit behind at this point, and RayReign may force the issue and push across before he's got really a chance.
Yeah, RayReign will be pushing across, and actually his arms are
split on the army.
Split up because of those rocks, I guess, and a lot of the gas, or the majority of the gas, was put into those Stalkers for SpellSinger. So, meaning RayReign has more Adepts and more Immortals, and that's one thing weird about Adepts too. They don't cost that much gas.
Yeah.
So for now, RayReign will push through these rocks, but the Stalkers, those are the core utility units. Those are the units he's going to be able to get the most kills and investment out of that he wants to watch. So he's got to be careful not to lose them here. Army supply-wise, 62, 66. Not too much different. We do have a warp in on the right-hand side of the map of DTs.
Yeah, and he's got 5 Stalkers sitting back in the middle of the map. I don't know if he's intending to leave them there. DT's coming into actually just going to run by the third base and go right into the natural, potentially even to the main.
We'll see, though. There is a robo back at home. While only now is there a robo for SpellSinger.
Trying to break in here. Zealots are on the Adepts, now cleaned up. He will push him back out away from the photon overcharges. Immortals still doing pretty good damage. Shield still up on the front one. One will get picked up. Nice micro there by RayReign to keep that one alive with 21 hit points left. And the DT, though, in the meantime, has killed things.
It's killed 18 workers and got a pylon, but not before an observer came out. There's 2 observers, I believe, currently out on the map. Actually, 3 for RayReign, so he should be good, but it's getting a little dicey. Him microing his army and then back at home microing, and SpellSinger is taking the opportunity to blank forward. He could potentially go for that Immortal if he wanted to. It is not at the barrier quite yet. RayReign, though, still doing a lot of damage, and there's the beautiful Immortal. That's what makes it cost-effective.
Yeah, we'll clean this up. Still keep looking. Yeah, I'm looking at these 5 Stalkers still at the bottom middle. If they were with that army, it could have made a difference between an actual poke through or not. But
it's just like, come on, hit select alarmy key. You know you
exactly.
Want to. You know you want to.
Exactly. He does have them now. They are coming back. But yeah, we're at 28 workers for RayReign versus 54 for his opponent. The third base, at least, is still up and running. For RayReign, it wasn't taken out, so the recovery on probes should be a little bit faster, whereas SpellSinger is just getting his third now, but you've got to think the whole tide of this game has shifted.
Now, the attack of SpellSinger is moving into the third base of RayReign, and I'm really worried because all of his probes are in the third base, not the natural, nor the main. And, by the way, the stuff in the main is still unpowered, so no robo production, only gateway, so this is just... It's starting to fall apart here for RayReign. SpellSinger, with those DTs, the desperation move may have been well played. RayReign not in the right position to defend, and his probes neither in the right position to flee.
Yeah, can't get away. Good force field, zoning the army out. This is going to go down, and he probably will end up losing all the probes here.
And this is so key. This is all of his probes. There's
almost all, and yeah. Even with the time warps, not going to be enough here fighting up onto the high ground.
2/3 of his probes do go down, but RayReign, I mean, if he can somehow win this fight, but I don't think he can. DTs now are moving in on RayReign, and there's no observer
detection, not anymore.
GG! SpellSinger evens it up 1-1.
What will probably be, well, potentially be the last game of what we scheduled anyway. We've got this series at 1-1, and looking to close it out and move on is our player in orange on the right-hand side of the map. He is RayReign.
And his opponent choosing the yellow because yellow and orange suck.
Yep.
Next is first. From Russia, it is SpellSinger. Every game it's been yellow and orange.
Yeah.
And on the minimap, like, is that pylon?
Well, especially with stuff like Adept Shades and like...
And it's a PvP. Like, what are you thinking?
Yeah,
if it's
exactly.
maybe different races, then it's like... But RayReign, he did start this off double assimilator, and he's got 3 in each. This very well could be a Stargate play. We did see him do 2 in each Stargate play in the very first series of... actually, SpellSinger versus... Puck, it was SpellSinger did this. We'll see how 3 into each works out, though, because that's dang aggressive. On the other hand, only 1 gate. Also, this probe of RayReign on the left-hand side of the map, RayReign has 100% walled himself in. That probe's his only connection to the outside world.
Yep, quite true. And it's it almost get caught there around the gas. Will swing on around.
What's kind of interesting about this is SpellSinger just maybe banking off, you know what, if I can get in the mid-game, I feel confident. While his opponent, RayReign, walling himself off and taking his natural, the same idea, just if I can get in the mid-game, I feel confident.
Yep, and you had mentioned walling him off. He's got the Adept being chronoed out and pointed outwards, so he's going to likely come all the way across the map with that, using the shade there to accelerate himself.
One thing I always find cool about the shade, which I've mentioned before to you, Endersword, is its ability to scout proxies early game against anyone. Just shade one way, this you literally have 2 units.
Yeah.
I like the hat, by the way. I just noticed it right now. You guys can't see it, but it's it's that hat. Now, Adept v Adept with the Mothership core on top. Not quite enough, but a Phoenix is going to be coming in. Both players going Stargate. This is a very interesting kind of decision from SpellSinger. He did not scout the Stargate of his opponent. Neither was he able to scout more than 1 gas. Yet, on the other hand, he did scout the kind of outward gas, which SpellSinger is scouting RayReign, so he may assume it was double gas, which, as a matter of fact, would be Stargate. Overall, though, I think it was either a great read or just kind of like... What is super OP or seems to work really well, Sky Toss?
Yeah.
We'll be like day 9 and say, that little movement, that was for 1,000 reasons. Now here's why.
Now, the real question here, though, while he has kind of read that that's the idea and he's responding, his opponent is actually just going double into it. And, you know, if you're behind just a little bit in the Phoenix count, it's kind of like the Mutafight that you're just going to be a little wrecked.
At least in this situation with air, the biggest nuance I feel like is sometimes not really realized is that you don't need to do a forged to upgrade it. You automatically have the option to upgrade it.
Yeah,
so why not?
Right there.
It does. It really affects it. Often you see players not remember or not actually keep upgrading their Phoenixes, which just leads to one player spiraling out of control. And even though in theory you're like, well, Phoenixes can't shoot ground, they do remarkably well when you just have like 50 of them. Not if you had 50 Phoenixes, you could take just about any game, except like Mass Bio.
Pretty much. Cannon's coming down at the natural here. Phoenix is coming in, trying to pick off these workers. 4 kills, 5 kills.
And does he reset the Phoenix count too? I believe that resets the Phoenix count at least now for SpellSinger. Lots of photon overcharges go off, but that is huge. 4-1. There's not a chance anything's coming out in. This is the scary thing you were kind of talking about, Mutas, is when the Zerg player just throws down a ton of spores and you have to stay home and just sit down. You can't engage.
Yeah, picking off these guys on gas. This is that other thing, too, of Adepts don't shoot up. So you can be vulnerable to this. The Stalker's coming in to push, but eventually the Phoenix count gets to a point where they don't care too much about that.
What I was thinking right there, actually, is just to see how OP Adepts were, but then I realized Phoenixes do plus 10 versus Light. It'd be kind of funny, though. I'm still like, 10 Phoenixes pick up 1 Adept, and they don't even do anything to it. They're just like, you know, time for now. SpellSinger, if you look, he had 500 gas in the bank. He's just... all his minerals, everything has been put into cannons to defend this, and yes, he'll manage to pick off 1 or 2 right here, but it's pulling him back and forth, allowing RayReign so much time back at home.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a little surprised that he hasn't gone out for a third yet. I think he's going to, but he's now ripping down the rocks. Yeah.
Maybe it was a little bit of an oversight. He did wall off before he scouted the natural.
Yeah.
So he was doing that from the beginning. If he scouted the natural, his opponent, it wouldn't have been. So often we're seeing those 3 pylons put together for an overcharges, but RayReign still, he's done an interesting thing out of his opponent, or forced his opponent to go Stargate, that is SpellSinger, make some Phoenixes, then kill them all. That entire investment, worthless, does put him a little bit behind. And you see RayReign's army, if you look at that, 4 Void Rays and Immortal, that is a stalker-killing machine.
Yeah, the Phoenix will back up. Now, SpellSinger really wanted to get a probe out, and he did, but not sure what he's exactly planning to do from here. Whether it's just going to be Gateway, it almost has to be, obviously. He is throwing down 2 more Gateways.
We'll see how it pans out. Currently, SpellSinger does have +1 to ground, and that will help him in this engagement. He will be doing more damage than anyone else. He'll be doing a total of 26 damage into the Void Rays. But still, I mean, there's just so much for RayReign. Oh! Phoenixes are also important. And the Phoenixes, all they need to do is just negate. They themselves can negate 5 Phoenixes. They can negate a third of the army by just choosing so.
Yeah, exactly. And 6 Void Rays, that is a lot. There's also going to be an Immortal. What do we got? 2, 3 coming out now. Yeah, everything here is just designed to kill Stalkers.
Yeah, everything plus versus armored, and it always makes me. It's always just funny in my head that Stalkers themselves are good versus armored. Yeah. Like they're just good. Stalker's good unit in general. Maybe not in the late game, but we see SpellSinger. You see in the bottom middle, he's got a warping location, but it's nowhere near these Stalkers. And the Phoenixes have the potential to either harass at home or try to pick off some of these Stalkers as they retreat. RayReign will not be able to catch up, but he's now moving across the map. 70 armies apply to 62. Not too different, but the entire essence of RayReign counters Stalkers.
Oh, does manage to snipe off 1 of the Void Rays at least. Backing up.
Oh, Phoenixes, bro, there's what I was talking about. Ideally wanting to pick them off at the back of the army, but still, SpellSinger is RayReign trying to force the engagement. He does have a proxy pylon on the bottom left. Both players have proxy pylons, but RayReign does not have a gateway. It will be very long. Warpins into storms. Nope, not quite the storms. You're a couple seconds away. Still 10 seconds away. That will force feedbacks into Archons. There'll be no storms for this to be able to counter the Void Rays. Time we're on top of the mass army of SpellShansky, and that actually forces how many Adepts right there can't even attack? That is 12 Adepts cannot attack because they're trying to move through that area. That could have been game right there. That may have been the reason why he may lose here.
Yeah, does get backed up into his main base. This third base was really all he was going to have going for him. That is going to go down here, and without much loss, still 5 Void Rays alive, Immortals alive, Adepts just good. And yeah, there's nothing he can really do about this.
A nice photon overcharge, or nice
feedback.
But again, because he went to the third, he had to fight at the third, which meant he didn't have time for those storms. He had storm on 4 of his Templar, but chose the feedback because it didn't quite have it. And RayReign takes game 3, doing 2-1, finishing off the group. Guys, RayReign takes first place. Will face No Regret in the round of 8. Huck second, and will face Semper.
Thanks for watching the video. Please subscribe to support the ASL by hitting the button now.